Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Cooper, and happy 4th of July weekend to everyone listening. I hope if you're working, I hope you have off of work the day before so that you can go hang out with your family, friends, whoever it is. I hope you guys have a great time. I do have to confess something though. The 4th of July is one of my least favorite holidays. It has nothing to do with the actual holiday. It actually has to do with the fireworks. Since I was a kid, I just have never liked fireworks. They're so loud and obnoxious to me. And particularly for pets too. Like, I feel like every single person who has animals, the animals are always upset. So many animals are like disrupted by it, especially dogs. They have to be like put on medicines that night so that they won't be barking the whole night. And it's just, yeah, no, I don't like it, but I do like seeing friends and family and celebrating together and having good food and things like that. But I definitely prefer Christmas, Thanksgiving, things like that. So I just had to get that off my chest. No hate if you like the 4th of July and think it's the greatest holiday in the world. But yeah. Anyways, with that being said, today I wanted to do an episode on forgiveness. I think forgiveness is one of the hardest things to do ever, honestly, especially when maybe the person who you need to forgive doesn't really deserve to be forgiven or they have not apologized to you. I think that's a key role in that hurts a lot. It hurts when someone hurts you, but not only do they hurt you, they don't apologize for it. And sometimes you have to move on without ever getting that apology. You have to move on with, the knowledge that they may never apologize. They may never feel bad about the thing they said or the thing they did. But we can't let that define who we are. Sometimes it's necessary to forgive. It's necessary to move on and say, I didn't deserve that, and I know you're not going to apologize, but I forgive you anyways. Now, I want to start this off by saying, yes, in the Bible, in Matthew 6:14, it does talk about, forgive others, and your heavenly Father will forgive you, and if you don't forgive others, your heavenly Father will not forgive you. And I just wanted to address that because, of course, every single thing in the Bible is true. I do believe that we need to be forgiving people, whether or not they deserve it. But I also think that the Bible is oftentimes used against people to shame them. And I don't think that's right either. I think that the Bible is not meant to shame people. The Bible is meant to lead people in the right direction. And I don't believe that it's meant for shame on anyone. And if anyone has ever used the Bible against you or said, you have to forgive me because Jesus says so, or you have to, whatever it is, I do believe that the Bible is true, but the Bible is not meant for that. In no way is it acceptable for someone to use the Bible against you. And especially for forgiveness, because forgiveness is such a hard thing. It takes time. And I don't believe that verse or any other verse in the Bible about forgiveness should be used against you. I think if God is wanting something and he is, feeling a certain way about how you're acting, I think he will convict your heart in that. And I think that we should listen to God with that. I think humans use the Bible in the wrong way and we use it against each other, and that is not right in any way. So don't allow someone to use the Bible against you. Yes, the Bible is completely true. Every word in it is true. And I do believe that forgiveness is absolutely necessary to grow and be the best human possible. But I also don't think it's something that happens instantly. It's hard and it requires daily work on it. I also believe that you can't heal in the same place that broke you. If you are, still in that environment that hurt you over and over again, I think it's much harder to grow and heal from that. If you're in a toxic relationship and you've been hurt and hurt and hurt by this person and they keep hurting you, but you're not making any changes, like you are still in the same place, it's going to be very, very hard to move past it because you're still in that same place to get hurt again. I think that's a really hard thing for some people to hear as well because we are scared to make changes. We're scared to leave. Maybe that's because we're comfortable where we're at, or maybe that's we know how it feels and we don't want to take the risk of leaving or making a change. But ultimately, we can't heal in the same place that keeps hurting us. If you've been in a position where you are getting hurt often, you need to make a change. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. I think that's the same thing with relationships or people in your life who are not serving you. If they're not serving you, if they're, saying things that are hurtful, if they're doing things that are hurtful, you need to get out. And I just want to address one thing really quickly. I've never experienced this personally, but I do know that there are some situations where you can't get out right now. And I just want to say, I am praying for you guys. If you're dealing with anything that you are trapped or you feel like you can't get out of a situation, I just pray that God provides a way out. And I believe He will. And I just truly want the best for you guys. And I hope that you guys can make changes if an environment is not working for you, if someone is not serving you in your life. Because you deserve happiness and you deserve love and you deserve to be free. You don't deserve that bad treatment. Everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves kindness. And if you're in a situation where you're not getting that, you deserve better. So yeah, with forgiveness, I think one of the most important things about forgiving and something that will lead to true forgiveness is first allowing yourself to feel whatever emotions you feel. Because I think oftentimes we discredit ourselves, honestly, and we don't allow ourselves to feel our emotions to the extent that maybe we need to. If you're sad, let yourself be sad. Allow yourself to cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset. If you're angry, allow yourself to be angry. Allow yourself to feel all of the feelings. If you're annoyed, be annoyed. I think it's so important to feel the emotions, and I think we've been taught to suppress those emotions and not let them come out, but I think in the process of healing, it's so important to allow ourselves to actually truly feel what we're feeling. If someone has hurt you, you deserve to feel whatever you feel. Whatever you feel. If you feel embarrassed, if you feel whatever it is, you deserve to feel it, and I think that is so important in being able to move past it, because if we suppress our emotions, you think that it's going to hide it, you think that they're not going to come out, but those emotions are going to come out in other ways. And I've seen that in my own life. I think, in my own life, I've had times where I've been hurt by someone close to me and I didn't. I hadn't forgiven that person, but then it came out in, becoming obsessed with working out and my physique and things like that. And that becomes unhealthy. It's like that anger and that sadness just went to a different place, because if you don't allow yourself to feel those emotions in a healthy way, then they will come out. You can't suppress emotions for that long. They will find a way to come out. They'll find a way to show themselves. And I think that it would just be so much better if we could allow ourselves to feel the emotions now, so that it doesn't leak into other parts of our lives, so that we can move on, so that we can feel it, understand ourselves, and move on. Because ultimately, the person who hurt you, they don't deserve that much space. And I know it's like, well, I don't know how to give them less space. I don't know how to not let them have that space. I know. It's hard. It's really, really hard. But I think it takes time, and it takes patience with yourself. It takes effort, and it takes showing up every single day and allowing yourself to feel the emotions. You cannot rush forgiveness. And that's something I want to really, really emphasize. Healing takes time, and it can be confusing. It can be really, really confusing when one day you feel like you're over it, and then the next day you're crying about it again. It's confusing, and it doesn't always make sense, but that comes with being a human. Sometimes our feelings come and go. Our feelings are a roller coaster, and sometimes we're gonna feel upset about it one day and feel fine about it the next. It's a part of the healing process. Healing does not happen in an instant. It's over the course of months, sometimes even years, and it's okay. You can't rush it. I think times when I've been hurt, some people have said, you just have to forgive them. You just have to forgive them so that you can move on. And I think it's so much easier said than done, because when you're in the moment, you're like, they don't deserve to be forgiven for what they've done. They've hurt me too bad. They don't deserve to be forgiven. But ultimately, healing is for you more than it is for the person that hurt you. And I truly believe that. And I think I've kind of seen that in my own life. Like, it's rewarding for you to ultimately forgive that person. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that you need to forgive that person immediately. No, you need to allow yourself to feel the emotions. Allow yourself to feel the pain, anger, embarrassment, whatever it is. And then over time, you work towards it and you move past it. And it's freeing for you, because that person who hurt you, let's just be real, they probably aren't thinking about the situation as much as you are. And that's unfortunate, because, when someone hurts you, of course you want them to apologize. You want them to feel bad for you. But if someone's hurting you, especially if it's repeatedly, it's not unlikely that they know that they're hurting you, but they don't care as much as they should. And they probably don't feel bad a lot of the time. Or another situation is they know that they're hurting you, but that's not their intent. They're not trying to, because I think a lot of times intentions can also get confusing, because people can hurt us without intentionally doing it as well. And it hurts still. Whether the intention is there or not, it hurts. But healing is more about you. That person is most likely not staying up all night thinking about how they hurt you and wanting to fix it. It's about you. It's about allowing yourself to not have to carry that burden anymore, because that person doesn't deserve to take up all the space in your brain and your heart. They don't deserve that space, because if one person is hurting you and they're treating you badly, and they're taking up all that space, that's crowding your heart to where you can't fit the good people in. But when we get rid of those people and we get rid of those situations that are hurting us time and time again, it allows us to have space for the people who will treat us right, the people who will be considerate of our feelings. And it's important. Healing is for you. It's not for the other person. It's not for the person who's hurt you. It's for you. It's a weight to be lifted off of your shoulders, not theirs, because they're probably not carrying it in the first place. Either they're unaware or they don't care a lot of the time. And I also wanted to talk about the fact that forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to go back to the person who's hurt you. Forgiving them doesn't mean, hey, it's okay what you did. No. I truly believe that's one of the biggest misconceptions about healing and forgiveness, because forgiveness isn't saying it's okay, It's not saying it's okay that you treated me horribly. It's okay. No, it's not okay that they treated you like that, but you will be okay. And you forgive them because they're human and you're going to move on. But that doesn't mean that you have to go back to them. You can forgive someone, but still not allow them to have space in your life ever again. You can forgive someone, but still not talk to them ever again. I believe that can still be forgiveness. I believe that forgiveness is just as important as, forgiveness where it's rupture and repair and you move on and you grow closer to each other. I believe that some things can be forgiven, but they don't deserve to be in your life anymore. A toxic relationship, you can get yourself out of this situation. You can forgive that person for the things they've done to you, but that doesn't mean to go back. A friend who's hurt you repeatedly, you can forgive that person, but that doesn't mean you have to be friends with them again. Even family members, if a parent has hurt you repeatedly, done things mentally, physically to you, you can forgive that person once you're out of the situation, but that doesn't mean you have to go back. That doesn't mean you have to talk to them. That does not mean you have to allow them to hold space in your life anymore. You don't have to go back. Healing and forgiveness just means that person doesn't carry the weight in your life anymore. That person doesn't get to have the driver's seat in your life. You are the driver. Don't allow someone who's hurt you to take the wheel. They don't deserve that spot. They have not done anything to earn that spot in your life. I mean, truly, they don't deserve that. And I think forgiveness is freeing. It's freeing. You don't have to carry that weight anymore. You don't have to. You don't have to deal with that. It's about you. You get to decide who in your life you want to have. If someone's hurting you, don't give them the space to hurt you anymore. Remove yourself from it. Separate yourself from it. Because you deserve happiness and you don't deserve to be dragged through the mud every day, every week, you know? I think it can be hard when you know that person isn't going to apologize, but I think it's not about that. It's about understanding. We have to understand that we didn't deserve that. I think a lot of times when someone hurts us or wrongs us, it's like we get this feeling in our brains that we deserve that treatment, that we deserve to feel how we felt because we didn't do anything about it at the moment. But no, you don't deserve to be mistreated. You don't deserve any of that. And it's not your fault that someone hurt you. It's not your fault that someone hurt you, but it is your responsibility to deal with the consequences of that. It's your responsibility to take the situation, learn from it, and make sure that you don't bring that into another situation. If you're in a toxic relationship and someone has been treating you badly, or you have a friend, they've treated you badly, they've talked bad about you behind your back, that can hurt you, but it's your responsibility now to take that, learn from it, and make sure that you don't bring that to other people. Make sure that you don't bring that into your next relationship or friendship. Make sure that you don't bring those toxic traits into your next relationship. You don't talk bad about your new friends that you make. It's your opportunity to break the cycle. I truly believe that every single one of us has the opportunity to break the cycle. You know, in your family, if you have a history of, abuse, toxic relationships, divorce, all of these things, I believe that every person has the opportunity to break that cycle. Just because your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents had a history of abuse, that doesn't mean that you have to go down that path. Just because your family has a history of, drinking and getting drunk all the time or, doing drugs, things like that, that doesn't mean that you have to be that way. That doesn't mean that you have to go down that path because each person gets to decide their own path. I mean, truly. And I believe that God has a better way. And I believe that you can be the change. You can be the difference in that. You don't have to follow in your family's footsteps if their footsteps are going to lead to bad things. You are responsible for that. You're responsible for taking those things that have hurt you and being the opposite, and no, you didn't deserve that. No one deserves for their family to be taken over by alcohol and having toxic relationships, abuse, things like that. Nobody deserves that. And I hope you hear me when I say that. Like, no one deserves to have to deal with that, to have to learn how to deal with that. It's not fair at all, but I do believe that now that responsibility is put on you to see how are you going to deal with this now? What are you going to do with the cards that you've been dealt? Yeah, you have not been dealt the right cards. You have not been dealt good cards, but I believe that you can take them and do the best you can with them. And you can change the course of your life depending on how you play these cards. I truly believe that every single person has the opportunity to get on the right path, whether your family or friends, your relationships before you have been on the right path or not. You get to decide your own path. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to stay on the right path. Surround yourself with people who are encouraging in general. Don't get discouraged just because your family is some way, just because your past friends have been some way, just because your past relationships have been some way. That doesn't mean that this defines your future. Don't allow these things to change who you can become in the future. And I think that's also one of the most important things about forgiveness is like when we forgive someone, that means we are allowing ourselves to move on, which allows us to grow into who we're going to be, because who we're going to be in 5 years and 10 years is so worth it. It's worth the forgiveness. It's worth all of these hard days where you sometimes don't want to forgive. You don't want to be happy. You don't want to smile, but it's worth it because of who you were going to become and who you were going to grow into. It's worth it. That person who hurt you does not deserve that space in your life anymore. So forgive them. I know it's hard, but forgive them. Not for them, for you, because you deserve to be free. You deserve all of that space in your heart for something else, something that's going to fulfill you, someone that's going to fulfill you, right? Like, you only have so much space. This life is too short to be filling up all of your time, all of your energy, all of your space with someone who is hurting you time and time again, or something that's hurting you time and time again. Fill your life with things that make you happy. Fill your life with people that make you happy. And don't look back. You deserve love and happiness, and healing sometimes is the first step to that. And I know it's hard. It takes time, but it's worth it. It is worth it. All of that time that you're going to put into healing and forgiving is worth it. Because on the other side, there's so much freedom, and you can be happier than you've ever been. When you have resentment towards someone, when you haven't forgiven them, ultimately resentment builds. And when you have resentment towards someone, it takes up so much space in your brain, and it is draining. If you know anyone who has resentment towards anyone, or anyone who has unforgiveness in their heart, I guarantee you that they're drained. It's not fun to hold that in your heart. And I know we hold it for way too long because we want to hold on to the anger and hold on to the sadness and hold it above that person's head. But what if we just let it go? I'm not saying let them off the hook. I'm not saying let them walk all over you again. I'm saying, what if we let it go so that we can be more? What if we get ourselves out of that situation and never put ourselves back in that situation? What if we got out and then we never allowed that person to treat us that way again, so that you can be the best person you can be? That's what it's all about. Every day we're striving to be the best person we can be. We want to become the person that is unstoppable. We want to be the parent that kids can come to. We want to be the friend that our friends feel comfortable with. We want to be the partner that can be supportive and loving and kind, right? But when we hold resentment in our hearts, and when we hold that anger there for too long, it can sometimes stop us from being able to be that person. Forgiveness is for you. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is forgiving yourself. I think a lot of times, forgiving is hard for everyone. It just is. But I think sometimes we forgive others so freely, because, they hurt us, but it's okay. We're going to move past it. But I think oftentimes we don't forgive ourselves, and we don't forgive ourselves for when we weren't able to show up for ourselves. That younger version of you that needed you, but you didn't show up. You were scared, or you were too young. Like, we need to forgive ourselves, because sometimes we didn't know, maybe that younger version of yourself didn't know how to show up for you. We have to forgive ourselves for that, and we have to grow, and we have to get them next time. If you weren't there for yourself at that time, be there for yourself next time. Stand up for yourself next time. Allow yourself to feel the emotions next time. Don't allow someone to walk all over you next time. Forgive yourself for the times when you didn't know. Forgive yourself for the time when you didn't show up. It's hard, but we also deserve the grace that we give to other people. If we're out here forgiving others left and right, you deserve that same forgiveness. Jesus forgave you too. He didn't just forgive all of the people around you. You deserve that same treatment too. And sometimes we see ourselves as not worthy of that. It's like everyone else is deserving of love and forgiveness and kindness, but not you. And that is so false. You deserve just as much kindness and love and forgiveness as anyone else. And you deserve to give yourself grace. And I struggle with that so much. Giving myself grace, but ultimately nobody's perfect. So when we fall short, when we're not being perfect, we have to allow ourselves grace and forgiveness for ourselves so that we can move past it and we can be better tomorrow. Also, forgiveness for ourselves in the way of if we've hurt someone. I think, of course, I believe that apologies are necessary. If you've hurt someone, I believe that an apology should be made. I believe apologies are so important, and they can truly be the defining factor of relationships. Someone who apologizes, I think that allows room for that person to grow from the situation and for those relationships to come back together, rupture and repair. But I believe people who do not apologize, it becomes very difficult for the other person to forgive and not feel resentment if you're never apologizing for the things you do. As humans, we're going to miscommunicate and we're going to hurt each other. That's just who we are. There's honestly not much we can do about it because we're sinners. We we hurt each other all the time, but I think we need to apologize. But once you've apologized, once you have made the changes, you can forgive yourself for that. No, it's not okay that you hurt that person or said something hurtful to them or did something hurtful to them. It's not okay that you did that, but it will be okay because there's forgiveness. Jesus forgave you, so you can forgive yourself as well. Jesus does not hold these things over your head. You're not defined by the mistakes you've made. You're not defined by your past. So if you've hurt someone in the past, make sure with everything in your power that you don't hurt them again. His mercies are new every morning. Like, we get to decide every day to be better. If we've hurt someone in the past, do everything you can to not hurt them in the future. That's the opportunity that we have every day. Forgive yourself for the times you've fallen short and move on and learn and grow. That's what this journey of life is all for. It's about growing, and it's about just becoming a better person every single day. I think that's all I have to say on forgiveness. I hope you guys truly can just reflect on the people who have hurt you or the people you've hurt and just forgive. Forgive yourself and forgive them so that you can grow and blossom into the amazing sunflower that you're meant to be. Don't let these people hold you back. Don't let yourself hold you back. You deserve love. You deserve happiness. You deserve forgiveness and peace. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I did. If you have anyone who you think would enjoy this episode, please send it to them. Follow if you haven't, and I will see you guys next time. That's the scoop.